Intuitive manifesting. How to find out whether you really believe in your intentions and whether they really will come true. Discerning truth from falsehood is as easy as paying attention to your physical body feeling when you or somebody else say something. When you say something that is true, you'll feel it in your body. It will feel joyful, bright, strong, right, good, matter of fact, easy. It'll be more easy to speak. It'll feel realistic, convincing, natural, effortless, unforced, normal, relaxed, or similar. And when you say something that is not true, it'll feel doubtful, strange, fearful, sad, separate, weak. You might have a weak voice when saying it. It'll feel ridiculous, cheesy, stupid, naive, suspicious, unrealistic, unnatural, forced, needy, tense, or just plain wrong. The body's ability to tell true from false, the body's ability to tell what you believe from what you don't believe, is very useful in reality creation and manifestation. Any goal statement or intention you have, when spoken out loud, will elicit a certain feeling or lack of a certain feeling. For example, let's say your goal is to marry a specific person, and let's say that specific person's name is Michael. So you'd say out loud, I marry Michael. And you can try this with me right now. Pick one of your own intention statements or goal statements and say it out loud. I marry Michael. Now, since I don't intend to marry Michael, or any man for that matter, the statement feels ridiculous to me. I can instantly tell it's not true when I speak it out loud. And how does your statement feel to you? It'll either feel true or not. If you've made a very firm decision, irrevocable, if you have this unbeatable determination, it'll feel more true. Or maybe your body's response to the statement is not yet clear, so you'd repeat the statement a few times. So let's try that. I marry Michael. I marry Michael. So you repeat it a few times in order to connect more deeply with the statement. And you breathe softly and deeply into the stomach to increase your sense of feeling. Breathing connects you to your feeling sense in the physical body, which is, in my view, much more important than your mind or what your mind says. Of course, this will not work for people who are cut off from their feelings. It will not work for those dissociated or traumatized. And it'll also not work for people who are too much in the mind, as well as for those who talk too much. Because if you're talking all day and listening all day, and let's say you watched 3 movies today where it's all talking, 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 eventually you become desensitized toward the quality or the feeling of specific statements. That's why we meditate, in order to get into a more sensitized, more quiet, more calm state where we can feel. So in that case, before you use this technique, you'd have to regain your sense of body feeling. You'd have to get out of your mind and more into silence and intuition. So, let's take our statement, I marry Michael. How does that feel on a truth scale from 1 to 10? Do you believe it or not? And if you do, it's likely to come true. So if you feel it, it's in your potential, in your ability, in your field, in your vicinity. And if doubt creeps up, then it's not yet likely. So any doubt or misemotion or forcedness tells you the truth, tells you it's not quite there yet. So you might either leave it at that, you just leave it at the realization that it's not true yet, or that it's true. Or if you don't feel it, you might rephrase your statement to something that you do feel, to something that is more believable to you. For example, you might change it to, I'd like to marry Michael. If you can't believe I marry Michael, try I'd like to marry Michael. If you can't believe I'm rich, try I'd like to be rich and see how that feels. So, how does it feel to add an I'd like to? Probably feels much more real, much more strong, much more believable. And if doubts even come up on I'd like to, you should seriously reconsider your goal. Reconsider marrying Michael. Because when I say I'd like to marry Michael, I get strong doubts. So that's not necessarily a goal I'm going to pursue. So you can experiment with rephrasing your statement a little. How about, for example, I will ask Michael to marry. How would that feel? And if you can't find certainty or a good feeling on any of these statements, see if you can find any statement at all that feels right to you, believable and true, such as at least I like Michael, or something completely unrelated, such as I'm good at web design, or I'm good at driving cars, or whatever. It's important to be able to tell the difference between true and untrue statements, between believed and not believed statements. And if I marry Michael feels true from the onset, from the very beginning, and you feel that your body agrees with you, you might want to push it a little more and try a statement such as, I marry Michael by August 2018. So you put a specific date to it, for example. Or, I'm financially free and independent by August 2018. Or whatever statement you have. And how does that feel? If you don't feel anything, repeat it a few times, and you'll feel whether that statement describes a probable or improbable reality. Your feelings, by the way, only reflect current states and standards. So if you were to change your thoughts, change your behavior, change your status and intentions, then each of these statements would feel different too. So if I marry Michael by August 2018 does not feel right, there are two ways you could go. You could either modify your behavior or modify your thoughts until that statement does feel right, or you could choose a statement that already feels right. So you might try, I marry Michael by May 2019. I marry Michael by May 2019. Does that feel more likely than August 2018? And in many cases, putting it more into the future feels more probable, more easy to accept to people. Why? Because it gives them time and space to align with that more closely. And just for good measure, to make sure that your intuitive sense is healthy, that your sense of feeling is healthy, you could contrast that with a ridiculous statement or a less likely statement, such as, I marry Michael by tomorrow evening, or I'm a billionaire within the next hour. Just notice how something less likely feels different than something more likely. Learn to tell true from false. This is so important. You are practicing reality creation if you work with goals and statements that are already true, they already feel true, or you make them feel true. My book, The Reality Creation Technique, which is also available as an audiobook, teaches how to make things that are not true, true, how to make things feel true. However, the significantly easier path is to go with what is already true, with what already feels like it's coming, already feels right, and learn to emphasize that in order to quicken its manifestation. If, for example, you wanted abundance, you wanted to be rich, you might not believe the statement, I'm a billionaire. It might feel distant and ridiculous to you. But what about the statement, I do what it takes to double my income within 6 months? How would that feel? And if that feels good, then that's a statement you repeat, that's a goal you set. And that is intuitive manifesting. This is one of the most important lessons that I've ever taught in the last 20 years. So please share it and recommend it far and wide. It is something that every single human being should learn and know before pursuing affirmations and goal setting and intentions and self-improvement workshops and whatnot. Without this knowledge, you're going to be wasting a lot of time. It's really simple. If you do feel separate and unaligned with a certain goal, it's because you are. And as long as you are, you're not going to manifest it. The most important journey to make is that of emotional alignment, of something feeling effortless, easy, joyful, normal. And that is something that will most likely manifest. My name is Frederick Dodson. Recommend this lesson far and wide.